Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Mac Makes Stuff. I'm Mac, and this is where I make stuff. So first of all, if you're returning to my channel, I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support. Any of you who are liking or leaving comments on my videos, I really appreciate it. You know, obviously, I'm a new YouTuber and I'm working through some issues like my sound. So this is kind of what we're working with right now. I've ordered a microphone, but hopefully this will help. But yeah, so I really appreciate any kind of engagement you're giving me. Yeah, if you want to subscribe, you can. I also have Instagram and TikTok. They're also Mac Makes Stuff, so you can find me there if you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes of my project as I'm making them. That's usually where I post more stuff. So basically last year I saw everyone making such spectacular keftas. Like, the embroidery was absolutely insane. It looked amazing. But I could never. So the thought of kind of doing all of that embroidery, stunning, not for me. However, I still wanted to join in the cool girl club of having an amazing cool jacket. Who else has an amazing cool jacket? Inej. So that's who we went with. When the trailer dropped, that was really my moment to shine. I definitely spent some time zooming in and freeze framing the trailer several times so that I can get a really good look at her season 2 design around the collar. Really glad that they didn't change her costume for season 2. Otherwise, you know, what did I spend all my time doing this for? Went through my patterns and found this one, the McCall's M5759, this one. So basically it already had kind of the neckline I was looking for. Okay, so I started this project in about December over Christmas vacation. So I used that McCall's pattern, and what I did is I basically lengthened all of the pieces except for the front piece. I just cropped it again because her jacket doesn't close all the way at the front. So yeah, that front piece was cropped and then everything else was lengthened. And I thought that worked really well. For whatever reason, I somehow miscalculated on the back, so there was about 4 or 5 inches just on the 2 back pieces. That wasn't quite long enough. So I just ended up adding little sections in. It's a really dark fabric and it is on the back, so I don't think anyone will notice. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just placing all my pieces, cutting them out. Good to go. So here's me working on the front of the jacket. There's a facing, a front, and a side front all together. So there was an outside and then a lining with an interfacing, so that obviously there's more structure to the front of the jacket. Yeah, so I'm just putting those together, watching some YouTube videos while I do this. So I'm just pinning them all together and then clipping the curves, which is always super important, just so that everything lies nice and flat. So here you can see the very front of the jacket. It's cropped to the side, attached to the side front of the jacket. And then afterwards I did the 2 back pieces. Yeah, just attached those all together. Had to adjust my little mistake there at the back with the length. And then, yeah, and then I did some more top stitching, tucking down my seams just so that they're nice and neat on the inside. And then we have the sleeves. Just put them together, set them in the jacket, good to go. Okay, so this is my Inej jacket so far. I have adjusted the front to make sure that the sleeves are a little bit shorter, but I really like how this part turned out. And now I'm going to start working on the collar, which is the really fun part. Yeah, cool. Turned out real nice. Okay, and that collar piece is really similar to how I did the front piece. A really stiff interface piece, as well as a lining. And here you can see me ironing and interfacing. Yeah, and we're about to see what happens with this, of course, every project. Okay, so when I had done a mock-up I did a mock-up of just the neck, which I probably should have done one of the entire jacket. So this is kind of like this piece is long enough to go around the rest of the neck, and this kind of comes on like that, which is fine if it folds over, but I didn't account for that. So I probably need to go back to the drawing board for this neck bit. And it might be a bit too long actually, because it might get in the way. It's very dramatic though. I love it. So yeah, probably going to have to draft something else. Thankfully I have a lot of this fabric, so I'm not worried about that. But yeah, so going to have to do a little bit more work on this, and I probably don't need this neck piece that the pattern calls for either. I could probably just put it right on there, and then I might trim this just a little bit because it doesn't go quite as high up. So yeah, but that's what happens when you try and hack patterns to be so much different. Alright, I'll spend a little bit of time on this and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've redone the collar, and I got the angles much better now. Please excuse my little Star Wars mock-up that I've done here. So I'm going to adjust the angle of this neckline. And then I extended this part out and fixed the angle of the point. Looks really good now, so I'm going to do it in my actual fabric, interface it, do all of that stuff. And yeah, hopefully get that done. That'll be really exciting because this is kind of the main piece of this. All right, see you soon. Okay, so I've just finished stitching on the collar. I think it looks really, really cool. Look at that. So I'm just going to do a little bit of top stitching and some ironing just to get it to lie perfectly. But I think that, yeah, this looks really good. So now next step is just doing the little buckles that I have here. I couldn't find the exact ones that she has that are kind of like long and flat, so I have round silver ones, but that'll be fine. Yeah. And the other thing is that I wasn't sure how they had done this collar because mine always twisted, and I think they just like folded it like this, which is what I've done. And it looks really good. So there we go. Alright, so I added pins where I wanted my 3 buckles to go. Here's a view of them there. Yep, so I just measured out where I wanted it to close. I made some little spaghetti straps, and then I hand stitched them down. So to make the stencil, I picked up from the craft store this like vinyl stuff. So I traced the pattern that I saw in the trailer. And then I just used a craft knife to kind of pick out all the little wedges, I guess. This took a really long time. I'm sure that if I had a fancy machine like a Cricut or something, you could probably do this super, super fast, but just me and my wee little hands. So that's what I did. It's quite soothing, actually. Just, you know, taking my time, picking out these little bits. left a huge mess though. Lots to vacuum up afterwards. And then painting. So this is kind of like a gold bronzy paint that I then mix with a little bit of white just to make it lighter. And yeah, and then I just kind of pushed it in. I originally was going to do the little circles, but I just did them afterwards. I didn't use a stencil for that. I can figure out where to put a circle, I think. Yeah, and I didn't try and be super precise. Like I tried to leave some blank spots as well, just to try and, you know, make it a little bit more organic. Yeah, so enjoy the process of me filling in the stencil. So I don't usually do a lot of prop making, but honestly, I think these turned out really well. So it's mostly, like you saw, cardboard, some tape. And after I painted it, I had some scraps of leather, some faux leather. My brother-in-law used an old jacket to make the pattern for another jacket, and he had scraps from that. So I just cut some strips, and then I'm wrapping it around and just using hot glue to stick it down. But I think it turned out really good. I mean, not the backside, but honestly, the back isn't anybody's business, so I don't know what you're looking there for. final costume. This is how it turned out. I'm so happy with this jacket. I think that especially with a little stenciling along the edge here, it looks so cool and I love this color. I'm super happy with this costume. Yeah, is there anything that I would do differently? I think the scarf needs some work. Yeah, and then I think the only other thing that I think I might work on and adjust is the little edges here where it cuts down. Maybe interface this a little bit because I feel like it kind of puckers a little bit while I'm wearing it, and maybe a little snap here just so that this collared edge stays tight and the snaps stay closed. But otherwise I think that it turned out really, really well. Yeah, I feel so cool while wearing this. I can't wait to wear it out to a convention. And I'm super happy that I got it done in time for season 2. So if you enjoyed following along this process, like, comment, subscribe, let me know who's your favorite character in Shadow and Bone. Let me know some of your favorite theories or storylines. I've only seen the show. I haven't actually read any of the books. So, you know, let me know some of your thoughts down below. I'd love to chat about it. Yeah, things coming up. This Inej costume is kind of my big character costume that I have coming up for a while. Next up is probably going to be some more like general sewing, general wardrobe, a little bit of quilting is coming. So get ready for that, and comment down below if there's anything in particular you'd like me to see or make. Yeah, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Yeah, what else do I want to talk about?